When I see people in Surrey Village and even up San Jose Road living without windows in the house, I know that I cannot continue to do business as usual and continue to support a government in the People's Partnership or in another government. The ILP is who I know that I am staying with. That's right. Political leader, the Honorable Austin Jack Warner, deputy political leaders, chairman, deputy chairs, members of the executive, ILP family, members of the head of tables, Surrey, good night. Good night. When I look around, and during our walkabouts for the past 2 days, and the people that we would have met would have expressed to us that lack of representation made them wonder why vote. Why should I come out and vote when the election day is called? Why should I continue to come out when I look around here and this community center is the exact same way for over 50 years? Why? Why should I come out and vote when the people of this community have been asking for lights and for restraining walls? Why? I voted once, I voted twice, I tried this government, I tried this government, and everything remains the same. Why? Why should I come out and vote when the people of this community, when they're not supporting a particular party, if they lost their jobs? Why? Why should I come out and vote when I cannot get something to eat? Why? Why should I come out and vote when the people of this community have trouble finding their children when they have to be waiting to come from the libraries these late hours? Why? Why should I stand on the junction at 9 p.m. in the night hoping that my daughter or my son comes up the road? Why? Why do we not have a community center here? Why? Why are so many people here without water and electricity? Why? Why should I come out and vote? These are the questions that the people of Surrey Village, La Pastora and Lopinot have been asking us. They have said to us, why should we vote? When we vote, we get nothing. Lack of representation, no sort of performance, only empty and broken promises. Why? And as a social worker, it pains me. It pains me when I look around and I see the people still living like this in 2015. It pains me when in 2010 we stained our finger and decided that things will change. It pains me. It pains me when I continue to look around and walk and see mothers and fathers still wondering in 2015 how they're going to feed their children. It pains me when we are not in government and while walking around people asking, how can I get a food card? How can you assist me? What can you do? Why in 2015 the people of Surrey Village, the people of Lopinot, the people of Trinidad and Tobago still have to be asking us these questions? Why? I don't know about you, but I stay with the ILP. Empty promises, broken faiths, lack of representation. That's all we've been met for the past 5 years. When we were promised that we will rise, you will rise, Surrey Village will get this community center fixed, and yet still we look behind us and what do we see? We see pans in the back because the people of this community are good plan players and they would have won the medium band category last year, yet still their pans have to sleep in the rain. Why? Why are the talents of this country and this community underdeveloped? Why? Why are the people of this community not given the life, the support that they need? Why? Why is it that $500 for 1 year is all that the Prime Minister could say for single mothers? Why? Or single parents? Why? Why not offer job security? Why not build communities? Why not build these community centers up and even ECC centers so that we can make these things into daycare and night care centers so we have people that could come out and work? Because we know that a lot of single parents, the only jobs that they could get sometimes are shift jobs. That's so? That's right. And what can you do? You rather either go and stay home and catch a case? You're either going to stay home and catch a case for child abandonment, or you're going to stay home with your children hungry. Why can't we have leaders that really care? And I know a lot of you have been asking us why. And what we will say to you is that we are not about broken promises. We are no longer about promises, but we are about performance. Because the leader that we have, the leader that has been on the tongues of everybody and just around the globe for the past few weeks, in Mr. Austin Jack Warner, he preaches performance, action, and representation. And anybody working under Mr. Jack Warner, anybody that is working within the area, anybody that wants to represent this Surrey village must come better than empty promises. We must come better than that. So I am saying to you, Surrey village, when you meet your candidate for this area, it's not about just asking why and saying, I fell up, I'm not coming back because I only see you all along election time. Won't you like to see your MPs at least once a month coming back within the area? Won't you like to have a community center that does not look broken, that when you're inside the community center you don't have to hold up an umbrella? Because when it was raining the other day, we came out from here to go in the community center to shelter, and what did we get? We get wet. So what do we need, Trinidad and Tobago? Do you need these empty promises? No. Do you need a government that continues to say we will rise, but yet still their friends and families continue to get in power? Is that what you need? No. Do you need your drains fixed? Yes. Do you need those retaining walls go up after all these years? Yes. Do you need windows on your doors? Windows in your houses? Because those people in Stan who stayed road yesterday, it really broke my heart when I had to see 3 young ladies sleeping in a house with no windows, and knowing the society that we live in, and knowing the type of cases that I hear every day. Why in 2015 we still have people doing that? And that's the right question. Where's the MP for this area? He's been sleeping in Parliament because last week, instead of paying attention and representing the people, what you're doing, you're sleeping in Parliament. I don't know about you, Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know about you, Surrey Village, but I stayed with the ILP. Thank you.
A politician, years ago, came to our doorstep and told my father, you and your family support me and I'll get government jobs for all of your 15 children. 15 of us. Surrey Village, we are still waiting on those jobs. But that politician, he's in Parliament right now. Mr. Politician, watch out. Another politician came to us, told my father, you and your family support us. And you see that drain, that river, that floods every time rain falls, by your house, we are going to fix it. Well, if we had to wait on that politician, all of us would have drowned. 5 years ago, another trickster came to our doorstep and said, if you vote for me, I promise to give you representation. I promise to give you service. Last week I saw that joker sleeping in Parliament. I'm sounding a warning to all these tricksters that we have for politicians in this government. Watch out, because the ILP is coming for you. Honorable political leader, and the only person in this country who could lead me is Austin Jack Warner. Deputy political leaders, Sir Sunil Ramjit Singh, Dr. Lena Wolf, Mr. Joseph Menz, Chairman of the ILP, Ms. Rika Ramjit, members of the executive, members of the head table, ILP family, friends, yes, Surrey Village, media, good night.
Good night.
And to that family that lost their loved one from this area, condolences on behalf of the ILP. It's not easy to lose a loved one, especially in that way. I feel your pain. But what do we gain by voting? What do we gain? We the poor people. We the poor East Indians. We the poor Africans. We the poor Spanish. Oh yeah. What do we gain by voting? Do we win? I ask you, do we win? No. Well, let's find out. Because 2 days ago, while Mr. Bastian and myself and others, we were walking through this village, we walked up to a gentleman's doorstep, and he said, listen, I don't want to see any politician, none of you, get out. But he was nice about it, but he said get out. He doesn't want to vote. He
I want to tell you something else. When you see, start to see the kind of candidates we have.
Right. Thousands of young people in this country, they don't want to vote. International media, hear me correctly. People don't want to vote, and it's because of this People's Partnership government. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I'm coming at you too. Yeah. Everybody watch out. He did not want to vote because he said it so correctly. And I told Mr. Bastian and others, don't be angry at him. He's just telling the truth. And put this international media on the news. Government come, government go. It's the same thing. And Surrey Village, talk to me. ILP family, you talk to me. Because I want to know who wins. After you support a party for months, and then when you, as a young person, go looking for employment, they give you a CPEP job. Did you win? Did you win? No. Can you go to the bank? Can you go to the bank with a job letter saying that you're working as a CPEP employee and get $100,000 loan? No. No, you can't. Surrey Village, no serious emphasis has been placed on agriculture in a community like this, one with such fertile soil. Surrey Village, have you won? No, you haven't. Let me tell you some people, if after over 60 years of voting, government in, government out, your standard of living has not changed, I ask you, have you won? No. You've lost. You've lost, and that's what that gentleman was expressing. We are fighting a losing battle in this country. A losing battle. Why is it so? Why is it that we are loyal ones? And make no mistake, we are the loyal ones. We wear their jerseys. We wear the hats. We wear the emblems. We pin them on us. We wear flag. We walk in the hot sun. We take our children with us. We walk in the rain. We walk in the rain. Am I lying? No. We walk in the rain for these politicians. And what do we get? We get promises. Promises, and when we go to their doors, when we go to the offices, you have to knock on 2 and 3 doors to see them. Sometimes you don't see them at all. Not Mr. Warner though, that's another story. Why it is? Why? When we go up to an MP, why we go to a politician and beg for a job for ourselves or for our children, why does they tell us, you know, things hard? Things hard right now. You cannot get a job. That's what they tell us. But when their friends and their financiers go to them, in fact, when their friends and financiers invite them home by their swimming pools and tell them we need some money, why is it so easy for them to give these people hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts? We know them. We know them. We have a company. The owner of that company, he filed for bankruptcy in Canada. He filed for bankruptcy in Canada. Came down to Trinidad and Tobago and got hundreds of millions of dollars loan on his good name. I ask you, can any of you go to the bank and get $1 million on your good name? You won't get a dollar. Security will throw you out. This man got millions and millions, and now, because of this government, he's a multi-billionaire. 500 billion and more. One gentleman. That's one person. Yeah. And we can't get a job, and our children have to beg, work hard for the rest of your life in this country. I'll call his name just now. Yes, he's squatting on state land. 35 acres. 35 acres. Council, I want to mention that. 35 acres. But Jairam Simangal, Madam Chairman, I don't forget his name. Jairam Simangal, he defended 35 acres because this gentleman is his friend. But don't Shagaramas, where you have poor farmers, and oh, tomorrow, Jairam Simangal, I'm coming at you too. Yeah. Poor farmers, don't get Shagaramas. They threw them off their land. They threw all of them off their land. And who do we have getting land? Oh yes, I'm not afraid. We have a good 44 acres. Yeah. We have a close friend of Botiwari. Nothing honorable about you, Botiwari. I'm not even calling you doctor. Yes, a close friend of his has a spot down there. We have Calco and we have all the others. All the others who became billionaires under this government, they push poor people off their land. Don't Shagaramas for development. I'll call his name just now. I didn't walk with my court clothes tonight. So, in the words of my political leader, not tonight. Not tonight. So let me tell you quickly, because I know my time is short. This is our fault. This is my fault. This is your fault. When we look at the way that this People's Partnership government has treated us, we are the ones to blame, not the government. We are the ones to blame. Because since independence, since 1962, we've been voting government after government. Oh, and we have some of those so-called political analysts who get paid to talk foolishness about there's only room for 2 parties in Trinidad and Tobago. But guess what? One party, oh, they serve their people. The next party, they serve the same people. And we keep voting and they keep coming, they keep going. And poor people, while the rich keep getting richer, what happens to the poor? They get poorer. So I'm telling you, this is our fault. And we need to correct this. And the only way to correct this, thank you. And when you vote them out, you have to vote in the ILP. Suraj Rambachan, another person I'll never call doctor. Oh, we know about that doctorate. I'm not calling you doctor. Yeah. Why boast about how much roads you pave, Suraj Rambachan, when people in areas like Sori, people in places like Lopinot, people in Tunapuna, in Aruka, in Five Rivers, in Kandahar, cannot afford vehicles to drive on those roads. People, if you're not looking out, some of these politicians might bounce you down on those same roads. They speed on these roads. We cannot afford vehicles. And if we continue in this way, voting for this, and voting for these kind of government, and accepting this kind of treatment, a lifetime will pass some of us. We won't even own a piece of land. I'm telling you. Don't think about squatting. Only one person in Trinidad can squat and get land. You know who it is. So, why boast, Mr. Rambachan, about thousands of meters of box drains? I've been through and through this constituency. Thousands of meters of box drains. But guess what? Not a single poor person has gotten a contract to build a box drain in this constituency and in constituencies all around Trinidad and Tobago. We have a company that has already made billions of dollars, yet still that company they are getting box drain contracts in. Box drain contracts. I'm telling you, listen, the resources of this country, the resources of this country, the wealth of this country belong to all of us. I'm going to call names, you know. They don't belong to SIS. No. They don't belong to Calco. Never. They don't belong to Abood. No. They don't belong to the Rohit brothers. No, they don't belong to them. No. They don't belong to Ishkalbaran Singh. No, they don't belong to them. They belong to each and every one of us. Why is it we have to suffer and get crumbs while these bandits eat the whole cake? Bandits, come on. This is my belief. This is my belief, Trinidad and Tobago. And this is my agenda. This is my mission from now until. This is my mission. Because I believe that the resources of this country exist to empower poor people like ourselves. I believe that. I believe it. And once there's breath in me, I'm going to work to make sure that these bandits, these rich bandits who have money to last 10 generations, start leaving our resources alone. And the poor people, the ones who really help build this country, start getting some of the wealth. You have to, people hear me, you have to recognize your power as a voter. Why vote for someone who doesn't care about you? Why vote for someone who will satisfy with giving you a $500 baby grant? Why vote for them? And their rich friends are getting millions. While you might never afford a vacation in your lifetime, every other weekend, they go Bahamas, they go Grenada, they go to the States. When your child, after eating tonight, might not know what she's eating tomorrow, they have the menu for the month set out. For the month. For the month, people. I honestly believe that Jack Warner and the ILP can make the difference. Why? Let me tell you why. Because before Mr. Warner, we never saw a politician who cared. But guess what? When you look at the Ministry of National Security, they want Mr. Warner back. When you look at the Ministry of Work, they want Mr. Warner back. When you go to McDavid Trace, I spoke to a lady yesterday. She said, hey, Mr. Warner paved this road. We want him here. When I went up to San Jose, they said, Mr. Warner paved this hill. We want him back. When I went to Spring Road in Five Rivers, they said, hey, this has been a mud trap for over 50 years. We begged MPs to pave it. Mr. Warner, who wasn't even the MP, came and paved that road in a matter of weeks. So I have decided that the only person who can make my dream of empowering poor people in these communities, make my dream a reality, is Mr. Warner and the ILP. So I'm staying, just like Mr. Bastian, I'm staying with the ILP. I spoke that, and I know my time is up, Madam Chair, and I'm running off the podium. I spoke to a gentleman yesterday, Mr. Danny from Five Rivers, and he told me, he said, Nigel, all my life, you know me, I've been critical of Mr. Warner. I've criticized him. I've led one-man protest against him all through Port of Spain. He said, but guess what? You all have to campaign for Mr. Warner and the ILP like you never campaigned before, because he is the only person, who can bring true governance to Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Thank God it's Friday tomorrow, because there will be no more parasites in cabinet. thank God it's Friday tomorrow, because we shall get rid of all the corruption. Now, tonight I want to say welcome and good evening to my political leader, Mr. Jack Warner. I want to say good evening to all the members of executive, but I especially want to welcome the international and local media, because tonight I have something to say to you. But before I say that, I want to tell you all one thing, a message to Surrey Village, Lopinot, Trinidad and Tobago. After Friday the 12th of June 2015, there shall be no parliament in this country sitting without the independent Liberal Party. And since the international and local press tell you to take that to the bank. Now I want to tell you something. There have been questions addressed to the independent Liberal Party, to the political leader and the executive, and I want to answer some of them tonight. And I hope and pray that as good press, you will print the answers so that we shall hear of it no more and we shall proceed to do the people's business. The Prime Minister of this country says Mr. Warner should go quietly to the United States without having his hearing here first. Prakash Ramada, leader of some party, I can't remember which, it's so out of time, says the same thing. But the worst was a young lady of whom I have been very proud. She is brilliant. Over the years, she has been totally demolished to the extent where she don't have an original thought of her own. You know what she said? Well, here is what... No, hello, please. Listen to me. People, we welcome the press. Let us treat them with respect.
Yes, exactly.
We want to hear, understand this, international and local press. We welcome you here. I was talking about Stacey Rooknarai, brilliant young lady. When asked about her position with the comments with regard to Mr. Warner going to the United States of America, she said, well, as my Prime Minister said, the woman don't have an original thought in her head. As my Prime Minister said, he should cooperate. Stacey, Kamala, well, no, I'll wait until Friday. But Prime Minister, Member of Parliament Stacey Rooknarai, and political leader of the COP Prakash Ramada, I want to tell all you something. Mr. Jack Austin Warner cooperated with all the authorities. That is why he went to the police station to have the provisional warrant executed on him. He dutifully served his one night in jail. And he's dutifully waiting until the American government send the evidence they say they have.
They say they have.
Now, I don't know about any other country, but I know about Trinidad and Tobago. And in this country, we have due process.
Yes.
We have respect for the law.
Yes.
And the law says that every man, woman and child in this country is innocent until proven guilty. And the law further says that when you charge me or my political leader or any one of us with something, you need to take us to the court and present the evidence and allow me to defend myself.
Yes.
And you cannot ask me to forego that right. You cannot ask me. I ain't talking about Ishan Steve, That is not my problem, My problem and this country problem should always be Kamala Prasad predecessor and the one parasite we have in power. Go study HMC. Study what they're trying to do. And this country says, if other countries don't say it, I don't know. But in this country, if I go to court and I am unhappy with the result, I have a course of action. Correct. Recently, this government, there was an award of $850,000 to a young lady against the government, and the government appealed it. And you want Mr. Jack Warner not to even have that first right. I say to you that the U.S. government say they're investigating this thing for many years. The Prime Minister and the Attorney General, who this evening I realized probably, no, I won't say that today, I will say it after Friday. The Prime Minister, right, and the Attorney General of this country.
Which one?
What? After laughing. But anyway, we know we have actors in government. Right? They want you, they said, sorry, that they have been collaborating with the U.S. government regarding Mr. Warner for almost 2 years. Check it out, that's about April 2013. Not so? Right. After all of that time, what does the U.S. government present to our country? They present charges with no evidence in support. Why you think there is nothing going on in court? Because they bring the evidence yet. The Extradition Act, and this is specifically for Gavin Nicholas' education, the Extradition Act and the Extradition Treaty says that you must present your evidence in 60 days for a provisional warrant of arrest. So all that a provisional warrant of arrest does is say, stay here until we present the evidence. So hear what my Prime Minister, Kamla Prasad says, and your Prime Minister, until Friday says, well, forget all of that. Forget they didn't bring no evidence. You just go. Here she. Go, Jack. Go. Without any evidence whatsoever. I say to the press tonight, you must report that that cannot be right. Well, what I want to say is, on the day that Mr. Warner was on his legs and Prime Minister walked out because she found something offensive, I have this to say. Prime Minister walked out and nobody followed her. I thought she went for spiritual upliftment. I don't know. That is a possibility. She needed some spiritual upliftment. But I want to, wait, hold on, so I hope you understand about our law. I want the international media to understand about our law. Our law respects, under the Constitution, the rights of a person to due process. And until that due process is followed, and I really don't care whether they're favoring Ish and Steve, that's a matter for them. They're going to have an answer for that. But right now, we asking for due process for Mr. Warner. I want to say something else. I want to say something else. I was on a program and a man said to me, well, you know, he tarnished. I said, excuse me. You have no evidence whatsoever yet. How is he tarnished? If they have evidence, bring it. No evidence presented to the Attorney General yet, after so many years of investigation. I'm not saying anything about that evidence, but I'm saying until such time that is presented, Mr. Jack Warner staying right here and he's fighting the election, and you know what's going to happen. I have been in Parliament in 2015.
We beat the cottage again.
No. And I want to tell you why I'm saying so, Press, I hope you're listening. Our Constitution says that any person in this country over 18 years who is a citizen of this country and who does not have a conviction for over 12 months is entitled to represent a constituency of his choice so long as the people of that constituency vote for him. When we went to court, the lawyers for the state admitted, accepted that Mr. Jack Warner is a man of good character. That means he's perfectly entitled to pursue his political and any other ambitions he may have. Now, people, that's the first thing I want to talk to you about. But I want to talk I know Mr. Warner here, and you all want to listen to him. But I want to talk about two other things.
Go ahead.
They talked about the constitutional amendment bill. I listened to a lawyer this evening saying that, well, you know, the government passed the bill in the law house. It was passed in Senate with amendments, and they sat on it for 8 months, and now they're trying to bring it, and then they decided not to at the last moment. I would like to remind this country, that the only reason that this government sat on the bill, it was because Dane Francois, Stephen Mitchell, and Rebecca Ramsey take the bill. If we in the ILP, they're sitting right here, Stephen Mitchell, Dane, where you go? Dane was the one here, right? And I am Rebecca Ramsey of the ILP. Said, no, we are protecting the rights of the other ordinary citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct, man.
No big firm of lawyers, no other big political party, no constitutional lawyers saw it fit to defend the rights of the ordinary man. We in the ILP, we represent the ordinary man. We represent the mainstream people. Correct. And that is why the constitutional amendment bill was not debated. Because we took them from High Court to Court of Appeal. And we lost both times, but we won. You know why we win? They didn't get to pass it. Gotcha. That is strategy. Yes. That is strategy. Let me say that now. They did not get to pass it because we took them to court. And on past platforms in the last 3 weeks, I have said time and time again, Prakash Ramadan said he was bringing it back the bill. And every time I said to him, you bring it on. Me, Steve Van Dane, waiting for you. They probably get the message a little late. But it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So the constitutional amendment bill, people of Trinidad and Tobago, the only party that defended your right in the face of all of that was the Independent Liberal Party. And I say that tonight to you because I want to tell you that this party is about the everyday ordinary man and woman and child. We are about the mainstream people because you are the mainstream. Don't let anybody tell you that your vote not important. And that's another thing. You will hear people say, well, they are the third force. I want to tell you tonight that we are not the third force. We are a national political party and we are fighting 41 seats. And I want to tell you something else. When all you start to see the kind of candidates we have, when all you start to see that the candidates are coming from among you to work for you, on your behalf, you'll understand what we're talking about. I want to talk about one more thing. I know you're anxious for Mr. Warner. I'll just give me 5 minutes. Now, I want to talk about the squatters bill.
Yes, man.
I want to talk about the squatters bill. Now let me tell you something. The squatters bill was passed since 1998. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Nothing happened. 5 years, this government in power. 5 years until Friday, they in power. They said in their manifesto, they are going to establish a land policy to deal with the landless. Nothing happened until 1 week ago. And you know why that happened? Because Munila reading the sunshine every day. What is my name again? Jairam Timongal reading the sunshine. And they suddenly realized that something was wrong. So what did they try to do? They tried to cover up by passing this bill, but it didn't work. And I'm telling you something. I am telling you something. That the amendments that they were about to make to this bill would have made no difference. Because the most important thing about this bill is that the certificate of comfort is of no value. When Mr. Warner asked Mr. Jakal Kunilal about it, he said he had to go and find out. The question that was asked of him was, if a person has a certificate of comfort and they die, can that pass on to your children? He couldn't answer. Up to today, I understand that what you name? Jairam Timonga still can't answer that question. He said, well, when they die, we go see about that. We go check the act. He waited till they die before he checked the act to see if the interest could be passed on. That is the important thing, because we have people in this country who have a certificate of comfort for between 15 and 17 years. And they cannot go to a bank with it. They could get a roof fixed, but if they die the next month, the house gone. Because you cannot pass on the property to anybody unless you have a statutory lease or a deed of lease. But more importantly, Kamala Prasad, the assessor, got up in Digo Martin and said, we will give 30,000 lots. And then somebody the next said, no, it's already 60,000. But here what the problem was. From 1998 to now, they have 23,000 applications for certificate of comfort, and they give out 7,000. So to make it look like if they could give you 60,000 lots, they want to pass the act to extend the date. 60,000 people who made their application for certificate of comfort since 1999 or 2000 can't get that yet. But they want to extend the date to 2014, and they can't answer the most important question. They cannot answer the most important question, which is, if I have a certificate of comfort and I die, will my children or my grandchildren benefit? I am telling you, as the act is no, the answer is no. And as they intended to amend the act, the answer was still no. So are they really dealing with your needs? No. Is it that you just want to have a certificate of comfort so you can go and beg them for a grant to fix the roof or to fix it? Is that what you want for land? No. I am telling you that the land in this country, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything illegal. The land in this country belongs to us, to you and I. They cannot try to bribe you for your vote with that Squatters Act. And it was divine intervention that they did not get to pass it, so to use it as a bribe in the next election. It was divine intervention that it wasn't passed, because they would use it as a bribe for the upcoming election. They say, well, listen, we could give 60,000 lots or 100,000 lots. So I say to you, and the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is the only reason that this government took notice, and it's called State Lands Security of Tenure Act. That is the proper name of the act. The only reason they tried to do something about it, because it was pointed out to them in the sunshine, on our platform, on all our radio programs that it is a waste of time to get a certificate of comfort and nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. I am saying to you that when the Independent Liberal Party gets into Parliament, that one of the things that we will deal with will be land for the landless, because we believe in this party that we must deal with the basic needs of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Before we start to drink champagne, eat lobsters, and have parties elsewhere. We must deal with the needs of every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, no matter where you are or who you vote for. When the Independent Liberal Party gets into Parliament, we will not be asking you which political party you belong to. We will be representing every single person, citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And before I go, I want to tell you one last thing. I want to tell you that you must not listen to the political analysts. You must not listen to all the surveys which try to tell you it only have two parties in this country and try to ignore the third party. They're trying to tell you that if you vote for the Independent Liberal Party, you lose your vote because according to their survey, we are winning no seat. You, Trinidad and Tobago, prove them wrong. It takes one finger to prove them wrong. And if you are dissatisfied, as I think you are, as I am, if you are unhappy with how this government run this country, and if you are further unhappy with how previous governments run this country, use your finger and vote them out. And when you're deciding who to vote for, remember, there shall be no parliament sitting in this country without the Independent Liberal Party. I thank you for your attention.
And that is the most appropriate tune at this point in time. With tomorrow being their last day in Parliament, yes. Captain Kamla, you have to go. But before I start and before I welcome my brothers and sisters in Lopinot, Bonnet West, and Surrey in particular, I want to talk to the international media. I want to tell the foreign media, they don't have to run me down all over the place. I ain't hiding from anybody. I ain't going anywhere. You ain't going nowhere. The AG say I'm a flight risk. I tell all you, I ain't going nowhere, fellas. This morning, I woke up police station at 6 o'clock. As I come out the door, in the rain, they block me. I go in the office, they block me. I go in Parliament, they block me. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what. Tomorrow afternoon at 1:50 in Parliament. When I go upstairs and so on, you have to come upstairs. But just make sure you dress properly. No t-shirts and sneakers and so on. I mean, Mark wouldn't tell you anything there, but I'll tell you here. Dress properly. After I finish the Parliament at 4:30 leaving, I want to go to Beetham Estate. Right. I want to see how people living here. I want to go to the Beetham Estate tomorrow afternoon and see me there. See poverty in this land of plenty. And then Saturday at noon, I want you to go with my bell on the train line. My bell on the train line Saturday. And Sunday morning, come with me up Laventille. See after me, yeah? Sunday morning in church. After church, let's go Laventille. So all you have to go all over the place. And in Parliament tomorrow also, I have several questions for ministers to answer. Be there to see how they answer those questions. We'll tell you, of course, something about them. So I'm telling you also to one more thing. Media, the ILP has its own newspaper called The Sunshine. If you have a mark to bus, you bus it in The Sunshine. So you could jump even high, Don't be low. The sunshine has to go. So having said so, let me say to you all tonight that I hope all of you, both local and foreign, have been looking carefully and closely at the behavior of the People's Partnership Government, whose last day in Parliament is tomorrow. Look and see their behavior these past weeks, these past few days. I want you to listen to them. You heard my chairman just now. Listen to them. I want you to watch their behavior. And you'll see, based on what you have seen and heard, in this government, in this People's Partnership, we are not all equal. Especially before the law. And when, of course, the law is for anything but their own. To be truthful, tonight is not FIFA night. They left very early. I left FIFA 4 years ago. And if FIFA hasn't left me, not my fault. Not my fault. So it's very early. I am in no way concerned about the FIFA scandal. I am in no way concerned about the US application for my tradition. That doesn't bother me. What concerns me, friends, and in fact, let me say this also. You know, you already have a big thing about the US and the ban and Interpol and so on. Let me remind all of you clearly that the US banned Mandela in 1980. And 20 years later, they began to come to the US. The US banned the Prime Minister of India, a fellow called Modi.
Yeah, I remember that.
And 2 years ago, they began to come to the US. So at some point in time, they must beg me to. So therefore I'm saying to you, my concern tonight is about the manner in which the rights of many persons in this country are eroded and the way the wrongs of others are protected. In this country, the government protects the wrongs of others and then the rights of many, they tend to erode.
Say it loud.
My friends, I am concerned about the flip-flop approach to justice that has been manifested throughout the tenure of this government, People's Partnership. Yes, many of them, I thought that they would know and they'll be able to see that our constitution in this country is upheld. One would have thought a government with so many lawyers, they would have at least made sure that this country's constitution is upheld. They would have made sure that our democracy is protected. Yeah. And they would have made sure that the rights of the citizens of this country are guaranteed.
That's right.
I thought so. My friends, that was the reason why I provided funding for Fred Kamala. It was not just about power. My obsession then was to rid this country of what I thought then was the most arrogant, the most corrupt, and the most vile government ever to govern this country. I thought since 2010. I thought then that Patrick Manning's protection of Kandahar was obscene. I thought his obedience to the prophetess Pena was scandalous. And I thought the adulation of himself, I thought that was not in the nation's best interest. So my friends, I saw no wrong when I took almost every single cent I had to free this country from the shackles of a demonic regime and help to put in place a coalition which I felt understood the needs of the people. I felt so. At that point in time, then as now, I didn't care about race. I didn't care about religion. I didn't care about gender or sex. I never did then, I don't do now, and won't ever be either. In 2010, what I saw was a cadre of Trinidadians who with one mind and one purpose were committed to the freedom of our people and working very hard for their good, so that all will rise. Because the theme song was, we will rise. And foolishly, I believe that. Foolishly, I poured my money into that mantra, we shall rise. But I will tell you something. If even you have 11 east, not one of you will rise. On that camera, not one of you will rise. I'll tell you why just now. So therefore, I'm saying to you, when I gave to the candidates my funding, I saw that this was a means to assist them in their campaign. Into whatever constituency they fought. I believe they could win. I believe they could win, and if even they had lost, I would still have given them, as I did. I gave to each of them, Nicholas 2 years, a fighting chance at the elections. Yes, I gave the AG. I put out 2 checks. I put some more just now. I gave them help because I wanted to give them a fighting chance for the elections. I never believed that this government, your government, my government, would have trampled the rights of people. My friends, when I picked up Monday's newspapers and read the headlines, I said to myself that something is wrong. One say, go now, Jack. One say, well, okay, all of them say, go now, go now. I asked myself, why would Prakash Ramadan, whose party will not win a single seat,
Why
should he call upon me to give up my right as a citizen to challenge the US application to have me extradited to face charges under the US system? Prakash is telling me, Kamala is telling me, Stacey is telling me, Stacey is a robot, but she's telling me to give up my rights in this country and go, of course, to the Pidato. That has to be madness, and these are guys who are there in Parliament to represent you. I find it very strange that Prakash Ramadan, of all persons, would of course call upon me to skip the hearing in local courts and go straight to the US. My friends, I am not the first financier of this People's Partnership government, for whom an application was made for extradition.
That's right.
I'm not the first. There were before me, there have been financiers before me for whom the US made application for extradition. I'm not the first. My friends, also I want to say to you, I ain't calling no name, I have to whistle. My friends, also, I am not the first financier of this party who has chosen to contest the application before our courts of law. My friends, however, I am the first financier of this party that they are asking to go willingly to subject myself to a US system, a US law court, and not my local court. And I ask the question, why? Why Prakash? Why Kamala? Why Stacey? Why? My friend, I want to tell you, while I sat in cabinet in the early years, 2010, 11, 12, while I was in the cabinet and dined with my former colleagues, I never heard one single comment from any of them as it relates to the 2 other financiers and who have been asked to go to the US court. Not once, 2010, 11, 12, 13, I in cabinet, not once did any of them raise any objection to the fight and struggle being made here to stay here by these 2 financiers. But I must go. I must go. Never did they raise their voices. I never read one statement from any minister calling the 2 financiers to be patriotic and give up their rights to be held locally in defense of the application. solution. I never heard it. Not one, not a single one, I said to you. I've never seen a minister or heard that the Prime Minister refused to listen to either of them. Not once, my friends. Not once. So the question therefore is, why would the government decide that Jack Warner should skip proceedings in this court and head to the US to be tried? That's the question. I do not know if the answer to all of this can be found in the Prime Minister's conversation when she walked out of Parliament last Friday. Listen good now. Last Friday, out of my legs, according to Whitmar. And she climbed and she walked out. As she rose to her feet, she muttered, and I quote her, "I refuse to listen to your offensive of a person like this." She found me offensive. And she refused to listen to a person like this. Like, a person like this. A person she hug up and squeeze until and so on. Well. So I'm saying to you, that is instructive, because the Prime Minister did not say that she refused to listen to any offensive, you know. He said offensive, like of a person like this. I ask you tonight, what does she mean? What does she mean? Does she mean that someone who looks like me she will listen to? What does she mean? I don't want to believe that Kamala degenerated into race, into the Hall of Parliament. I don't listen because of race. I hate to believe that this Prime Minister pulled the race card on me when she left Parliament. I know she has been coached by Surge and by Lalogan and by Sharma and Monilal and so on, these guys. But Devan, he's the king. Devan is king. But I never thought that my Prime Minister would have gone to the gutter and sung from solo talking about race. She wouldn't listen to an offensive person like this one. She says,
I believe it's race. What do you believe that?
My friend, it is. No one in this country has ever seen Jack Warner as a racist. Never. And Jack Warner doesn't see race in any people. That is why Shogunas West voted for me on 3 consecutive occasions. And that is why Jack gave them the best representation any country has. In Shogunas West, as a constituency, we played together, we laughed together, we cried together, we grieved together, and we celebrated together. Whether it was Eid, Diwali, Emancipation Day, Indian Arrival Day, Pagua, or Christmas. We were never divided. We were one. I ask you tonight again, what does Kamala mean when she says a person like this?
She says you're a gypsy.
Is it because I'm a person like this, and not like the other 2 financiers, that I am being asked to abdicate my rights and go up to the US? Yes. Is it because I'm not looking like the other 2 financiers? Yes. I believe, if anybody, I believe, we either give the same amount of money, why well more? Right? Is it because I'm a person like this, and not like the 2 financiers, that the foreign media will give him full sway to abuse my rights in my own country? Yes. To abuse my rights in my own country? Yes. My friends, Kamala needs to explain why I am treated in this manner. And she must clear the air why the treatment which I have received, I received because I am a person like this. This party, the ILP, does not see race. We are all embracing. We are Afrocentric or Indocentric. We are all centric. We are all centric. The ILP doesn't discriminate on the basis of religion. In the ILP, we celebrate diversity together. Each one sharing the joys, the pains, the happy moments, and calamities of each other. because in the ILP we are one.
That's right.
That is taking place. She should send a strong message to everybody living in this country, because it tells you that to vote for this government is to open a hornet's nest and to expose each citizen to the many divides that keep us apart. I now have to sit and wonder, about our Muslim brothers and sisters who remain in Venezuelan jails. In Venezuelan jails. I have to wonder whether this government is not doing enough because they are not cameless people like this. I must sit and wonder about the state of emergency, which I talked about earlier on. 8,000 men arrested and locked up. Many young men whose rights and freedoms were trampled upon. And I ask the question, did this take place because they want cameless people like this? In our country, there are many poor Hindus. Some of them living in stark poverty. But maybe they too fit the bill of cameless people like this. As a nation, we have to decide whether or not we can trust this government. Because, my friends, you cannot be sure. You cannot be sure because you know what day that you too will be discriminated against. Because on that day, Kamala may choose to see you as a person like this. I ask no favors. None from Kamala. None from the people. I ask no proclamation of any section 34, 5 or 6. I want no section to be proclaimed in my name. My friends, in no way I'm seeking to abscond or shirk my duty of appearing to be proclaimed in my name. My friends, in no way I'm seeking to abscond or shirk my duty of appearing before the courts. All I ask is that justice be done. That's all I ask. I want my day in court. I want my day in court. And after presenting myself the argument, I want the courts to decide. This is what we, this country, are used to. Chairman said so a while ago. I don't want any chairman of any integrity commission to try to free me through any back door. I want a judge to say yes or no. Don't come with no commission and sign letters and call in Parliament and say you have no evidence. Don't do it for me at all. Chairman of the Integrity Commission. I don't want any Parliament to become a cowboy court just to free me against having to face the process of law in my country. No, friends. I want to go before the courts of this country and present my case. And if the court say I go, then I go. And if the court say I stay, then I stay. But I tell you this, I know it'll be a long summer. Long summer. What? Kamala, what is hustle? You see, the point is, I am quite sure that Kamala and Prakat Ramada know I have marked the bus. They believe they will send me all the country to mark them. But I tell you, I have news for them. News for them. My friends, all I ask for is for a judge to decide where I should go or stay. Under this, under this constitution, we of course have a guarantee of protection from despots like Kamala and Prakash. Who would stop at nothing to have me destroyed, to have me incarcerated, to silence my voice, so that their evil will be allowed to perpetuate. They want me to go, my friends. They want me to go, to leave here, because there's plenty to hide. And I tell you, for the coming weeks, make sure you book your sunshine early. Very, very early. Because this Wednesday is becoming hotter than a chula. And I haven't touched Munila checks yet. I haven't touched Munila $250,000 alone for his wife yet. Look, I will show it to you. He said she going to London to the Stoke. So Stoke is in New York. Stoke is in New York. Whether it's Stoke or London, The money is the same.
He done this only wife.
$50,000.
He done this only wife already.
Wait, Dorothy, wait.
That is right.
The money I gave to the NJAC, I gave them that money. Yes. I gave them that money for them to have a sphere of influence in the hills of Laventille. And they do. Apparently don't want me to tell you about that. Because I haven't heard Makana Daga say anything at all against Prakash and Tam. For the calypso and cultural competitions. Ask them. Ask the AG. Nicholas, if Jack Warner ever give him money, ask him and ask him how much. Don't ask money that you. I will show you checks only that. Right? I want you to ask Kamala about the amount of financial favors she received from my hand. Meetings in the Kenton Hall. For meetings. Who paid for that, Kamala? Right? And what's sad? Nobody asked Kamala anything about money.
No.
It was Kamala who said about money. And she had a reason for saying so, because she knew beforehand who was coming. And therefore, of course, she stayed in front. I said, where does this come from? I have no finances. I try to raffle to raise funds for the party.
Right.
Ask Kamala therefore about all the favors I did for her. From my hand, my friends. And then I'm saying, in those days, she never said anything about Jack and people like this. My friends, I'm telling you tonight, this is bigger than Jack Warner. That's why all them foreign media here. Them fellas go all over the country to get Dot and Jack Warner, you know. They go on their cruise looking for Dot and money. 14 people indicted, only one day running down, you know. I say, leave them. Guys, treat the media very kindly, leave them. I want them to be there tomorrow. I say again, and beat them and stay in the afternoon. Trinidad by Bella Saturday and Laventille Sunday. My friends, I'm saying this is a clear sign that our democracy is caving in. Our rights and privileges, as enshrined in our constitution, are whittling away. This government is self-serving, and if you're not one of them, or a threat to any of them, anything can happen. Imagine the AG Lamlogan take a shell company, paid $1.75 million to of course investigate Jack Warner quietly. Which cabinet approved that? Which cabinet not approved that? Yeah. To investigate Jack Warner, and that same man had the bold faces to hug me up, which was to the West Office, and to walk to the Center Mall and investigate me quietly. I said to you tonight, the answer to the hand, I bleed for you.
Daddy man
Woe to the hand that shed your costly blood.
Yeah.
And as Chairman said, my friends, when they call the elections, I ask you to vote wisely. Vote so that your children will have the same rights and privileges we enjoyed under Eric Williams, under George Chambers, under Ena Robinson, under Patrick Manning, and even under the Guru, Basil Pandey. Under these men, we enjoyed favors. We enjoyed, of course, not favors, rights and privileges. Under the first female Prime Minister, we have been robbed of this. So therefore I say to you tonight, if you fail to vote wisely, it's your children who will pay. I tell you again, my friends, turn your face away from camera and wickedness. And let us bring an end to the People's Partnership Government. I have seen over the years that people are always throwing stones in my path. It depends, however, what I make with them. I could make either a wall or a bridge. I am the architect of my life. And with the help of my family and you in the ILP, I'll make a bridge.
Very good.
A bridge that will take us all the way to the next parliament. And that is why tonight I wish to announce the ILP's first candidate for the constituency of Lopinot, 1 year west. That right tonight, the true sorry here to tell you, our first candidate out of 41, and our first candidate for this constituency, Nigel Reyes. Nigel, to go this line, move forward as a spider, spin a web over all of them, Nigel. Because if anybody knows this constituency, you do. If anybody knows this constituency, you do. For 5 years, this whole constituency suffered for lack of representation. For the next 5 years, we shall correct that. And therefore tonight, I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to say again, you have been a great team, a lovely crowd, and I want to again urge you to start from tomorrow working with Nigel house to house. So we have one down and 40 more to go. I thank you.